the conflicts are not resolved, then people are passively aggressive. So the 2 hours were ensuring that most of the triggers come out. That means all the unconscious
Hmm.
biases came out. All what we are not comfortable came out. All the things that we sometimes bury under our heart, and we don't say it because it's not
Yes.
politically right. So this 2 hours was basically breaking yourself to merge with everybody else.
That's powerful. Breaking yourself to merge. I can literally see this. How do we break the ice as well around you, which is holding you tight, and you are holding up that image, which is just virtual stuff, and you then mingle in the truest sense. I think that is in itself real team building. Team builds, and it builds before it builds, it disintegrates actually, and then you come together. It Welcome to the We Transform Show, guys, a show where we meet real life transformers and know their stories in the first person, because we believe we all can transform and there is no right or wrong time of transformation. Transformations are a part of our life, and those who change, those who transform with the changing times, are the one who really win the game of life. Today our guest is Ashuma Sachdev, who is a performance coach who does something with movement, and that's very exciting thing to know. She has spent around 20 years working in the corporate, and that's when she developed her new love of movement. We'll know a lot about what she is doing and what she is up to from her. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ashuma to the show. Ashuma, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much, Alok. Thanks a ton.
Thank you so much for coming in here, Ashuma, today. It's really exciting to meet you. Really amazing to see you here in the session, because we have got a chance to work before, but we never got a chance to come virtually together. So, guys, let me give you a little context. How me and Ashuma know each other is that before, when I was doing the physical team building workshops, in a lot of those engagements, Ashma used to come in to do a very special activity called the Happy Feet. A happy feet was about movement, about enjoying the way you're dancing. In a nutshell, we used to call it dance as if nobody is watching, and that's her strong forte. So we'll know about that from Ashma. So Ashma, I'm so happy that you're here, and we will talk about the happy feet as well. But before that, I want to ask that 20 years of very stable career in corporate, doing all kind of interesting work, and then your movement. What made you move? What was that?
Sure. Thanks, Alok, for asking that. So, this was a point where I remember that meditation happened to me, and uh, I was doing Buddhist chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, and I was working with Inspire One, and as again, it's a consulting organization, and I was facilitating emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
So I had to go through a lot of my own self-awareness about all the different kind of emotions that were happening within me. And that's when I facilitated thousands of people in one of the IT organization. And I spoke to thousands of people in the context of emotional intelligence. And the realization came so strong that for any human being, the three emotions that are most challenging is fear, anger, and pain. And just around that time, I was I also did my own EI awareness score, which happens. And at that moment, I was really wondering what makes me truly happy. Just this question popped, like what makes me truly happy?
Hmm.
And I was writing everything that makes me truly happy. And dance came as one of them. Just like that, dance. Okay, dance makes me happy. And then when I started noticing, then I realized that dance not only makes me happy, but it serves a lot of different purposes.
Okay.
So it makes me emotionally also liberated. Like actually, I lose myself. Like so, like for example, ego. Of course, the role of ego is to have identity.
Hmm.
You know, and sometimes it's like getting restricted by your own identity or your own past experiences. And dance made me feel free. When I was born, I was always dancing. Like my dad was a Fauji. Wherever we went, we danced. All the companies that I worked with, I was always taking part in the annual functions. You know, especially annual functions was a time when a lot of cultural activities would
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
Or I remember that I was a part of Shamak Davar, Summer Funks. Then I did a little bit of Ashray Lobo. Or when I was posted in Hyderabad, I did a little bit of Kathak. So I was always attuned to dance as a form of medicine or movement.
Hmm.
But to me, emotional intelligence and dance as a connection at that moment became very strong. And then for me, simple thing like I was reading Ikigai at that time, and
Okay.
Ikigai said that if you could marry what you're good at, so I feel that dance just has always come to me very naturally. So I always felt I'm very natural about it.
I think I can't agree more because when I was a part of one of your sessions, and I'm so thankful that you called me. Guys, I and with my wife was invited with on into one of our sessions. It's called a full moon session, full moon event or something
Yes,
like that,
full
right?
moon meditations. Yes.
Full moon meditation, and that's when I realized, first of all, I totally agree with it, Ashuma. You go in a state of flow every time you dance, and this is what you do. You actually give that power and energy of flow to others as well. So people like me who are non-believers, who just don't believe that I can dance, mostly I only dance on a DJ floor when there is certain kind of atmosphere, and of course you are already loaded with some little bit of alcohol, and then you go and dance. That is me, and I really felt as if I am in the flow for some time, and that is the power of movement. So this is what you do. But Ashma, when did it come to you that you moved to dance, you added dance as an ingredient because it was giving you power? When it occurred to you that you can give it to others as well, and you can share it with others as well?
Everybody loves music. Everybody loves listening to music. And I felt similarly, universally, everybody loves dance. So and I've seen not only for myself, but I think everybody for so far, whatever for the last 10 to 12 years, they always have always shared with me also that whenever you're dancing, it's inspiring. Uh, people around feel loved. They feel I'm loving myself a lot more when I'm dancing. So when I started experiencing that, then I said I must continue to use this gift that I've got from the divine as a source of flow to anyone who I connect with. And that's when I started doing team building in corporates through dance, or a full moon meditation, or even farmhouse parties, private parties, birthday parties. So the channels just opened. I just said flow, and flow can happen anywhere. So it's a one to one also, it's a group also. And I think within that, a lot of depth also came in.
Hmm.
So, for example, like just one thing of accepting your body fully.
Yes.
Just so the opposite of it is body shaming, the opposite of it is feeling very uncomfortable with the body. And we all understand that even 55% is body language,
Yes. Absolutely.
and 38% is the tone, and only 7% is words. So when our body is speaking so much without actually, we realizing, that means the body talks all the time. And that means that if we are restricting our natural flow of dance or body, that means we are suppressing something.
Hmm.
And since I also do other, I also just want to mention, like I'm also facilitator for crucial conversation.
Okay.
And I just want to say that uh, when the human body is not feeling safe, we do get in a survival mode, either a fight or a flight.
Okay.
That basically means that our parasympathetic nervous system is not relaxed. And similarly happens with the dance that when somebody says perform, that whole fear comes that am I looking good or not?
Yeah.
I'm being judged
Yes.
basically by so many people. And I think the whole intention is for all of us, I'm sure, and whatever we are doing, that's where the whole phrase comes dance like no one is
Yep.
watching. It's like a bathroom
Hmm.
singer
Hmm.
analogy. मेरे को गाना अच्छा लगता है बस मैं अपने लिए गा रहा हूँ
Hmm.
मुझे उसके साथ और कुछ नहीं करना
Yeah.
है
It's celebration of life.
it's just
Yeah.
celebration of
I
life.
remember Ashuma, I was in Bangalore and I was in the ashram with I was so fortunate that I was listening to Shri Shri directly. He was giving a very nice session and he said something amazing. I still remember he said that music and singing is an enhanced and advanced level of speech, and likewise dancing is an enhanced level of movement. Both are meditations. If you can sing so well that you are lost into it, or if you dance so well that you are lost in the movement and don't remember anything, then you are meditating. You don't need to just sit like a sadhu and meditate all the time. And it is so powerful. It always stayed with me. It always was with me that yes, meditation can happen in different things.
My intention of doing this work for my own self and for extending it to the space is this whole thing that as soon as we start moving and we keep moving and we keep moving we keep moving we move from this physical realm to a different realm where we feel liberated of our own selves. We're less attached to what is just attached. It's like coming in the present.
I see. So Ashma, I also read that you write about these breaking barriers in with this whole therapy which you do. So what is this breaking barriers and how does it actually work when we get into something like this?
Sure. So I'm just remembering an example. It was there were these folks, venture capitalists. Okay, they were completely into financial numbers, and I remember they shared that they wanted to do an offsite in Kumarakam and beautiful space. And they said कि boss हमें अल्कोहल तो चाहिए थोड़ी सी तो
Hmm.
चाहिए
Okay.
we land at 7:30 but we need to have two pegs man and then we'll dance. I was like I hear you man and I feel you man I completely feel you but trust me we can do without it. So I remember the business head sharing chalo dekhte hain
Hmm.
let's go for it. So I remember it was a beautiful summer. If you know
Yeah.
Kumargaon, they have great Basuri
Yes,
Vadal
yes.
happening in the evening. The whole atmosphere
Hmm.
is amazing. And all of them started coming in around 7:30, and the bar was very close by. So there were drinks and everything was set. But the business head was like just looking at me, and we both were exchanging looks that now people will come and if they ask for the drinks first, what do we have to say? So, people came and said, shall we have a drink or two before? And I remember the business head saying, Arey, this is fun. It's okay. Just come here. We'll finish all of this and then we'll go for drinks. And he looked at me. I can imagine, I was imagining his face. He was like, I hope everything
Yeah.
goes well. And I also looked at him saying, Ho jayega. Don't worry. And I remember there were a small group. There were 35 close knit people, of course. So I remember when they started
Hmm.
moving, and usually I do a session of 2 hours because 2 hours is enough window to kind of get into the flow. because a state of flow is when you have to get into a state of flow. So I remember the first 15-20 minutes there was consciousness, people were looking at each other, the right thing to do, the wrong
Yes.
thing to do. And I remember after 20 minutes, it's like magic started happening. And everybody, was loosening up. They were very easily moving with everybody in the team. They were exchanging. They were moving in twos. They were moving in fours. Because in a team building, of course, I take care of the entire four gamut. Which we all know that the conflicts must happen for the
Oh.
performance to happen. You know. So there's important that conflicts from conflicts the performance comes. If the conflicts are not resolved, then people are passively aggressive. So the 2 hours were ensuring that most of the triggers come out. That means all the unconscious
Hmm.
biases came out. All what we judge came out. All what we are not comfortable came out. All the unsaid came out. All the things that we sometimes bury under our heart, and we don't say it because it's not
Yes.
politically right. So this 2 hours was basically breaking yourself to merge with everybody else.
That's powerful. Breaking yourself to merge. I can literally see this. How do we break the ice as well around you, which is holding you tight, and you are holding up that image, which is just virtual stuff, and you then mingle in the truest sense. I think that is in itself real team building. Team builds, and it builds before it builds, it disintegrates actually, and then you come together. It sounds like a very nuclear to me, in a reactive way, that you split and you come back as an energy source. But that's extremely powerful, Ashima. That is amazing.
Yeah. And so they all, like, at the end of the session, I remember they were especially thankful. They said, tomorrow is a very critical session, but the way we have opened up to each other, now it's going to really help us to really talk from our gut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, really speak from our gut and not just be
Good sounding people, everybody who
ऊपर से हाँ और अंदर से
yes,
ना
yes,
हाँ.
right. Right. And this is something which, where you say you love yourself, you love your body, you love your expressions, and it really means a lot, because a lot of people don't do that. We don't love ourselves. Some people, when they record their audio for the first time, or they listen to their video for the first time, don't even like the way they speak. So people just don't like it. And I was watching a keynote session from Nick Vujicic. He is a celebrated motivational speaker, a man born with no arms and no legs, and he was telling that all those who are here, who are ashamed of that little belly, or the hair which was not good, or you are a little overweight or whatever. I don't have a leg, I don't have a hand. What should I be feeling worried about? I love myself, and that's life. I have enough what I need. Now that was so powerful. And this is what happens when you start loving yourself the way you are. Don't change it too much, as in change for health. That's another thing altogether. Don't change because you just have to go ahead and prove to somebody else, or just show up in somebody else that you are a little better than what you were in, from the body formation. So when people come to you and you break those barriers, is there a fear that also gets released when they actually get into the movement side of it?
See, there are different kinds of barriers. So I remember a lady, she came in and she had just had a very recent breakup and she was in pain. She was so much in pain that she was just wanting to dance with her own self and not mingle with people. So her barrier was, she was not wanting to sort of sometimes trust again.
Hmm.
That was her barrier. Then I remember that there was another lady who came in and she used to do cakes at her home, but she wanted to
Okay.
start a commercial venture. But she had this fear whether she will be
Hmm.
successful or not. So when she was dancing, I remember after dancing for 2.5 hours, she just launched her thing
Oh
on this that
wow.
I am starting and start. I want to do chocolate cakes, and
Okay.
this is what I do. I have realized that I don't know what
Hmm.
can happen. Even I don't know. So there was another guy. I
Hmm.
remember a lawyer came in, and lawyer danced for 2 hours and told me later in the evening over a dinner, said, I have so much to let go. His realization I have so much to let go. I'm holding
Okay.
on to so many grudges.
And I think anyone who now, those who are listening, if you feel that you're stuck at a moment in life, or you want to make the decision or launch that product or program, I think you should find Ashuma. She will help you get through that barrier. And I think that's very, very powerful. Now a lot of people will be really curious, Ashuma, to know what do you do in those sessions. So would you like to show some light on the kind of mixture which you give in sessions which are like the full moon session which you have?
Sure. So, a little bit on the full moon. So, moon is inner. Moon is all about inner emotions. That means again
Hmm.
everything that we feel inside. On the full moon day, all these emotions get
Okay.
escalated. It gets heightened. So that's why they say that it is a great day to
Okay.
channelize your energy also. So whatever, as soon as the full moon is coming, just look at your own energy and kind of like start channelizing it. Because every moon cycle is different. So last moon cycle was in Sagittarian. So like the way the sun signs are there, the moon signs are also there. And since 70% of us, we are made of water, on a full moon, everything gets, as we say, heightened. So last was a fire sign, and the whole intention was that use the fire energy as transformation, but also make sure that it does not get short circuited.
Hmm.
Just like passion. Passion does not get dried up, but passion is sustained
Yeah.
passion over a longer period of time. So it was a movement meditation with all the nuggets of all the intentions. And the intention was ecstatic energy. The intention was flow from your heart. Intention was gratitude. Intention was follow your bliss. Intention was, you know, uh, look within. It's a great day to release. So if you have to forgive somebody, forgive today.
Okay.
Don't wait. If you have to, if you're angry about something, find the true cause. Look at your home, what you need to
Mhm.
release physically. Give your old clothes. Give anything which is not
Mhm.
serving you. So it's a great day of release.
Okay.
So people write in that. So every moon cycle has intentions. Some are primary intentions. So, for example, for full moon, the primary intention is release, manifestation, gratitude. That will always stay. But every cycle, because we are in different signs, it'll get fine tuned. So, the next one, which is coming in on June, is called strawberry full moon.
Strawberry full moon.
Yeah. So, I'm already excited
Okay.
about strawberry. So, it just gives me this. So right now I'm like bubbling with the strawberry ice cream idea, like just pink in my wardrobe, just at a very primary level, looking at strawberry. But yeah, so I do full moon meditations every month, and the intention of that is again a movement meditation with intention. So
Hmm.
everything works through intention.
It's amazing, and that sounds so powerful. I've never seen a virtual session when you do, because I think they are doing it virtually these days. Though I witnessed one physical one. It was in Zorba, I remember. Zorba the Buddha, right? That
Yes,
was the name.
absolutely, yeah. I'm so
Yes,
glad you
it's a
got your
beautiful
wine.
place.
Yeah.
This sounds very incredible, Ashuma. The whole full moon thing is it looks very powerful, and I think virtually also it has an impact in itself. So a lot of people listening to this may be curious to find out how they can join you. So what is the best way to reach you? How can we find you? and follow you and learn from you?
So one, of course, I'm on LinkedIn, and they can send me a message, uh, and I'll share my phone number. They can message me on my phone directly. So I'm on Facebook, all social media platforms, Insta and LinkedIn. So good way is just a personal connect. Say hello to me in the message. You'll get to know the next date and the intentions, and you can enroll.
Wonderful. And I'll definitely share your link here down below in the description so that people can find you easily. So, my last question to you, Ashma, what is Ashma doing now and what is the way forward? What is in the pipeline now for you?
So I think lockdown. This last one has also brought in a lot of pain energy. So what I want one is how can I support people to experience pain and to look at pain as a gateway to the soul and
Hmm.
not resisting pain. Like I have a couple of clients who started coming and in fact started crying, and they were not crying, they were just feeling too uptight about everything. It's like how they were just burying themselves in work, and they were not really releasing the pain or not even experiencing the pain. So not it's not intellectual, it's emotional. So I think one clear thing which is coming is how do I heal emotional body. So emotional pain, how do I heal that? The second is of course coming is loneliness, because loneliness basically, I think one of the thing about is that loneliness needs to move on to solitude. That's where the love lies. Because when we don't want to face ourselves, we rely on external sources. Because I think this lockdown happened actually for us to face ourselves, because there's nothing available. You're at home alone, it's like you're home alone.
And lot of people were scared in dealing with themselves. I know my friends who told me I was feeling so restless, I went and sat in the car, turned the AC on, I was feeling as if I'm driving. There was another friend who just took the vehicle and went for a little round of the society because he wanted to run away from something which was catching him. I said, what was catching you? You were in the house. He said, just I didn't want to be in the house. You sometimes running away from that. So maybe
Yeah.
what you're saying is right. Dealing with ourselves is not a very easy thing for many of us. I think, Ashma, that's a very incredible and very kind, effort which you are putting in solving this problem, suppression of emotions, or helping people handle pain, handle change. See, pain is around us. We have to accept the reality that so many people, especially in the second wave, have lost their loved ones. I know a lot of people personally, my friends who have lost their dear ones, and it is not so easy. For others these things look like numbers. इतने लोग impact हुए, इतने लोग infect हुए, इतने ठीक हुए, इतने deceased हुए. But this deceased, or even those who are admitted in the hospital, god forbid what they're going through, whatever difficulties and challenges people are facing, it builds up pain, it builds up regret, it builds up sorrow sometimes. How we'll get rid of all of this, and thank you so much for doing this for others. So guys, find Ashuma. I'll share her details. Ashuma, thank you so much for
Thank
joining this
you,
session.
Alo. I really want to thank you so much. This is my first interview, as I said, and thanks to you, that we've been able to have this conversation.
Oh,
Thank you.
the honor was all mine, and I'm sure this won't be your last because there will be many people who would like to invite you to know more about you in their interviews. So, all the best for that. Looking forward to meet you soon when the lockdown opens, and thank you so much for joining today.